Hey y'all, welcome to Shade and the City. I am your girl Treese, and as you can see, I am on my own because Nels has decided that she is out of office again, and I don't know how she's getting this time off. She ain't got no more time in her PTO, but she continues to take it regardless. She's in the negative, as I told y'all. But anyway, y'all know I'm actually have plans for myself this weekend as well. So I wanted to go ahead and get you this recap of the life after the lockup. This is season 5, episode 45. Without trust, you have nothing. So yeah, for all of our Shade Squad and our new viewers, if you haven't already, y'all go ahead and hit that like button for me. And yeah, make sure y'all subscribe as well. And let's jump right into it. And yeah, let's get shady. All right. So life after lockup had to start off pissing me off, right? So Bianca and Daniel comes home and he wants water. Bianca refuses to get it because this is basically her get back for the coffee situation. I said it was petty because that's what it was. Basically, he asked if she admitted to his cousin Rob that she had a drinking problem, and Bianca denies, like she didn't say this on camera, that she ever said anything like that. And I said, "Girl, okay, you must have been so lit you forgot that you said that on camera, but okay." And so basically she just says that she likes to drink. He brings up her mentioning to Rob about their foreplay and how he's embarrassed. And Bianca says that she said that to his face and says that Daniel isn't being romantic or showing her any real affection. So she tells him that she needs more intimacy. Daniel blames it on, basically, I've been around dudes for 5 years, and says basically he'll try to, make an effort to be more romantic. And I said, okay. So then Bianca is like, I want a dominant man and I want to be able to be submissive. And so Daniel questions if she has a codependence issue on him. And because she's so used to him always being on the phone with her. And he brings up how even when he was locked up, she would be upset if he wasn't attached to that damn tablet or whatever he was talking to her on. So then Bianca, can I tell y'all, I was so irritated. She continued to bring up this coffee thing throughout. Like, if we do not, and I love coffee, y'all. I am a big coffee drinker. But when I tell you, if I hear one more thing about this coffee incident, I am not going to watch the show anymore. Like, I'm irritated. I'm really, really irritated by it. So anyway, I'm sorry, it was a tangent. It just really bothered me. So Daniel says that basically it may be his past and situations that he went through that's kind of making him put his foot down when he sees red flags. And basically he lets her know he's not going to be her do boy, which I can appreciate. And Bianca, then we see them wake up the next day. I guess this is day 4. She asks him to go get this damn coffee. You see what I'm saying? And he finally goes and gets her the coffee after he spills it all over the floor. And so they decide to go through this box of things that he brought home from prison, which is all stuff, selfies and stuff from her. And he thinks that things are looking up after their conversation the night before. So they decide to go for a walk. They thought they was going to hit a Jilly from Philly and it was going to be a long walk in the park after dark, but that's not what happened, right? Because when they get out there, Daniel first, he decides he's going to go and grab the ring that he bought from her from the I was getting ready to say Hobby Lobby, but the TJ Maxx sort of, no, what y'all told me what it was. Pluto, what is it? Pluto's Closet? That's what it is. Y'all told me in the comments. I appreciate y'all subs. Appreciate you. But so yeah, he went to grab the ring that he got from there and take it out. And just in case the moment was right and he felt like proposing, but the moment was never right because we see Daniel start losing it. They start walking and he's just like, he's trying to pull away from her. And she says he's being very rough with her. And he's walking all fast. And I guess, starts to freak out. And he's just like, it's too much in this open space and I'm just not used to this. And I guess he's dealing with some type of PTSD of being in a box for 5 years. I can absolutely understand, and only seeing those four walls and having somebody dictate when you come out, and even then you don't really get to see much the time that you get out of there. So I felt bad for Daniel, and I was just like, it's sad. And she wasn't really understanding. And then of course she made it about her. They start cussing each other out. They're arguing because Britney is talking about how she doesn't like the way that he's holding her hand. And it was just, he tries to explain, and he's basically asking for her to cut some slack. And it just becomes this argument. Beyonce gets upset, he walks off, and she starts crying and getting emotional, and it didn't move me not one bit. But she's just realizing, she's having this aha moment, that, oh wow, our lives are not going to be normal. We're not going to have a normal relationship because this man is fresh out of prison and is still dealing with, clearly, the trauma from that experience. And so yeah, that was pretty much that. She finally tracks him down and finds him, and they kind of talk it out, and he tries to explain himself. He realizes that he takes full responsibility, and he's like, I'm sorry, I did want to do this with you. I asked, said, let's take a walk, let's do this. And, unfortunately, it didn't go the way I thought it would, because I didn't realize I was going to be so overwhelmed by just being outside. So that's obviously, and it was an aha moment for Daniel as well, because he realizes, instead of being focused on proposing, he realizes that, oh snap, I may need to work on my mental health first. And I absolutely agree. So that was them. Now let's get them off my screen. Now what I did find interesting is Britney. We see our good girl. She's my good girl, y'all. I told you I like Britney. Brittany's finally coming to her senses. As we know, we last saw her, she's getting off the phone with the parole officer. She's upset to hear the news that, basically he's suggesting that they don't go get married because Texas doesn't take to fraud. She's upset and insulted that he would even suggest this fraud. And it's like, we just trying to get married. So she thinks it's going to basically help their situation. So she decides she's going to buy the dress anyway. She has no problems, or she basically has no plans to tell Kerok, and plans to move forward with the marriage. So then we see that they're getting ready. He questions Britney, and he's like, all right, are you sure you want to do this? And basically it's like, this is what you want. And you can just tell Britney is just not, she doesn't look like a bride is supposed to look. I know it's one thing to have cold feet or be nervous, but when I tell you, this girl just, there was no excitement whatsoever. And that's because she admits that she doesn't want to do it this way. She feels like you should only get married once, and it should be what you want it to be. And this is not what she wants it to be. So she's not happy at all, but she also doesn't want to disappoint Kerok. And so once him and Coffee leave to go prepare for the ceremony, Shayla arrives and helps her, and basically she starts to confess to Shayla that she's not ready to do this. She also tries to call her grandmother like 3 or 4 times, and she gets no answer. So she's just upset her family can't be there, and it's finally settling in for her, like, yeah, this is not how I want to do this, especially the fact that it's not helping me. If it's not going to help me, why am I doing this way, right? So yeah, so she's really on the fence about it. And we do see a clip where Kerok basically tells her he didn't want her to consult the PO. He felt like that's none of their business whether they married or not. And I can understand what Kerok was saying, but I get what Britney was saying, whereas if it doesn't matter, then we can just wait till everything is the way it should be, and then we can get married. But there's no point in us getting married if it's not going to help me get over there any faster. And if anything, they look like I may never get over there if they feel like I'm trying to commit fraud. So I understood where she was coming from. But anyway, so she gets there to the beautiful, I guess it's like a pond, lake or whatever, that he has, set up. He has an officiant there. He's gotten ready in the bathroom. And what's the dog is there, cookies, I called a cookie, is it coffee, I'm sorry, Coffee's dog is there. And Shayla is there. And so finally, before the officiant can go in and start the ceremony, Britney lets him know, like, look, we need to have a conversation because some things I ain't told you. And yeah, I don't know if I think she's gonna go through with it anyway. I think she's just gonna tell Kerok that basically, I know what you think is going to happen by doing this, but I don't think that that's gonna happen, but I'm still gonna marry you anyway. That's what I think is gonna happen. But y'all let me know. Y'all drop down in the comments. I don't know. I don't know. All right, y'all. It's your favorite, Zeruiah Troy. Okay. Now we learned that Zeruiah's parents' house caught fire. She's upset about the thought, obviously thinking about losing her parents, and obviously her son. She said her son spends the weekend with Azael, spends the weekends over there. So she's grateful that everyone was able to get out and she didn't lose anybody. They go to visit the home, and it really doesn't. I will be honest, from the front side of it, I was like, it doesn't really look like much when they pull up. But then when they walk to the back of the house, you get to see where basically her brother's room and where he slept is like completely burnt. And Zeruiah feels as if, Patrice predicted this and thinks, she may be right about their relationship. And Troy just thinks Zeruiah is just dumb as a box of rocks, okay, for listening to this lady. And then we'll get into it, but she actually thinks that, and granted, I'm a spiritual person. I do believe what you put in the universe will come back. I don't know. But Zeruiah feels away. She hasn't really talked to her mom. And she feels like her mom might be upset with her because she went to see the psychic and then the house caught on fire. So she feels like she may blame her. So we see Zeruiah's father. He picks up Troy so they can take him down to the church to view basically the parking lot and space so they can do a Project Hill event that they plan to host to try to get these kids so they can obviously get this grant money because they got bills that need to be paid. They got to get this money by tomorrow. All right. And so he's talking to, his father-in-law about the fire and the cause. And the dad said it was an electrical accidental situation. And, like I told y'all, Zeruiah's mama ain't talking to her because she's been playing on the devil's playground. And that's what that was. And so once she finally does talk to her mother, she lets her know that, hey, you didn't come by today with dad, and I'd like for you to come over tomorrow. I really want to see you. And so we do see, we learned a little bit more about Zeruiah's background. And we learned that the poor baby, she is adopted. Thankfully into this beautiful family that loved her, but apparently they let her know when she was like 3 years old. She talks about her experience and basically trying to meet her biological mother, and her biological mother was like, nah, that's the adoption is for a reason. I'm not really trying to have a relationship with you. So she's always battled with that. And then one thing I didn't personally like was she sits the mom down and tells her, how grateful she is that, nobody was harmed in the fire, and then talks about how she's excited about this wedding, but we know we got Project Hill rent due, your rent due, and then looks at her mama and says, so and how y'all plan to help me pay for it? Did anybody else catch that? Was there was it just is it me? Okay. I just I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, the mom, being as sweet as a button as she is like, you know what? I got you, boo. But we got to plan this out. Obviously, we got to budget this out. But yeah, I can try my best to give you the wedding of your desire. And yeah, and this is when we learn that Zeruiah is she wants her biological father, which she does have a relationship with, to walk her down the aisle because they've gotten pretty close. And so at the end of the day, her mother knows that she struggles with knowing who she is and says that, she can go see who she want to see. But at the end of the day, she's in God's hands. And I said, well, you better, mama. That's a praying mama for you. Okay. A praying black mama. And I love it. I love it. Love to see it. Okay. So next we got Kim and Joey, which was pretty much, I feel like a little bit of waste of our time. Kim and Joey decide to go have date night. And she tells Joey that she's still married, basically, and her divorce isn't final. Joey is upset. And so it sounds like Kim hasn't even filed. That's what I got from it. Because he was like, well, did you go down to the, and she was like, no. And Joey was like, well, did you think something was going to come out the sky and just say you was divorced? So it makes me think, because she was talking to Tatum last week about how everything is so much harder. But did you did you even find out what needed to be done to get divorced, or you just I I don't know what happened. Anyway, so Joey thinks Kimberly is dragging her feet and is upset that she's talking about buying a house when she's not even divorced, and then wanting him to pay for half of this house, even though he ain't got no job yet either. And so basically he tells her that they need to go, or she needs to go see a lawyer. Um, and basically he ain't putting nothing on nobody's house until, especially if the ex-husband might still be entitled to it, which if that's one thing Joey got right, that's smart. And so Kim admits that she also worries that if she has to tell her ex-husband about Kason possibly not being his, or if it, he isn't his son, that it will just add to their issues. And what makes me think it is the child support, if she's getting any. But that's what me, in my opinion, that's the only reason she could be so worried. But I don't know. Y'all drop down in the comments. Let me know what y'all think. But yeah, that was Kim and Joey. Melissa and Louie. Now, y'all know I don't really see it from Melissa, but I could appreciate this heartfelt moment, but she irritated me in the beginning. So anyway, Louie talks about wanting to get into personal training full time. Things are not so great with Melissa. But he has a perfect date night plan for her. So we see her at work, and she's talking to, when one of her regulars comes in, and they start talking, and she shows her a video of Louie, because she follows both of them, personally training some girl. So Melissa feels embarrassed to see Louie working out with some young woman. And I was going to say, sweetheart, she wasn't even young like that. Like, you really, really, that, get out your feelings. That woman was not even young like that. But I get it. So she admits that she has insecurities because basically she's had terrible relationships prior. And we even heard the daddy say that. And, she's been cheated on so much. So she's worried Louie would do the same. And we know Louie, back in when he was in high school, when she first knew him, he was certified lover boy. So I can understand, I guess. But if you want to be with him that bad, then just, that's what you want, right? So now Melissa is upset, and she's contemplating not even going. And so he's ready to propose to Melissa. He said he loves her loyalty. He loves her. And so him and his boy get together, and they carve out "Marry Me" in the sand. And he plans to, take her up to this lighthouse. And he's just like reflecting on the night before, and basically is like, should I even be doing this? And it's like, and is she going to say yes? But when she eventually shows up about 30 minutes late, because they got to give us some suspense. That's TV for us, right? So she shows up about 30, and probably just Jersey traffic, just being honest with you. But so no, she's like, oh, and shows up. And she arrives in heel boots, and he lets her know that they're going to the top of the lighthouse, and this is like 400 stairs or something real crazy. So they bicker on the way up, and I probably would have too. I ain't even gonna hold you. But once they get to the top, he tells her, looks down, he gets down on one knee, and he proposes, and Melissa's thrilled and says she don't even care about the ropes or the thrusting now that she has her ring. And I thought that was cute. And I was like, oh, so congratulations to Melissa and Louie. And yeah, shout out to them. Like I said, I like Louie, and I just hope Melissa don't drive him crazy. And she seemed like, now that she got the ring, she already planned the wedding. So she just ain't never gonna let up, Louie. But that's your boo. That's what you want for the rest of your life. So congrats to y'all. But yeah, y'all, that was pretty much this episode of the Life After the Lockup season 5, episode 45. It was a quick one. Probably quicker because I don't have my counterpart to debate with me and go back and forth. But y'all can debate and go back and forth with me in the comments if you'd like. If you haven't already, please make sure y'all go ahead and hit that like button for me. And make sure that you subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification bell. And make sure you're following us on all platforms, the TikTok, the Twitter, the Facebook, and the IG. And yeah, y'all, I will catch you next week. And Nels will be back with me. And we will give you, I think we should be ending pretty much almost wrapping the season up, because Love During Lockout comes out in December, I feel like. But I don't know. Time is flying. It's already November, Lord. But anyway, y'all. So yeah, I will catch y'all next week. Y'all have a good weekend. Be safe. And yeah, have a good night.